In the national capital, the Supreme Court in the coming days will hear a suit from embattled member of Parliament for Kpandai, Matthew Nyedam, who is invoking the jurisdiction of the court to annul a High Court decision that invalidated his 2024 election victory. The High Court Judge Manuel Batplange, who ordered the rerun of the Kpandai parliamentary election, has explained in his reasoning that the scale and nature of the irregularities uncovered in the pink sheets made it impossible to isolate the problem to just the contested stations.
Out of four, when you're breaking news, if you just say Supreme Court, and I'm making it now, bro, I will Ghanatube. Breaking news, if Yankasa Ghana has the Supreme Court, out of four, Obekai Kpandai parliamentary elections in the course, and the Siana Meno Casano, the direct case here at the easy horse, and many within 30 days, no, on Sansu and Shishi, a rerun, a re-election for Kpandai parliamentary seat in Kwalofo. Sasem we ko people High Court. Na High Court judge no ni ruling by. Matthew Nyedam ni anje ho entisi amena okasa no omekuku case no call Supreme Court. Say enimeni ya no NPP ni no announce sitting member of parliament for Kpandai constituency no or the case no call Supreme Court. Or see any ya no Supreme Court. Ombo sansem nyina ntungu na still anu ono ankasa onye sitting member of parliament for Kpandai constituency odofo. It is see amena okasa no we kukuru case no call Supreme Court. Say Supreme Court enke bi man no mombo sansem na omukeka say isi no onsanso run a re-election no da bi. Also, Mongo Sansem Nantungorofo, into way breaking news Cassia, Ecoso, Miss Meeting in Nabro, where Supreme Court Cassia Pan, Sweden in Nabro, Ghanatube concerning Yankasa Kpandai parliamentary dispute na Ecosono, a case na ko High Court, Tisiano, the Kuku case no at the Eco Supreme Court, says Supreme Court in Minimiano, all crashes are High Court ruling no, and no, or moment yasier. Amon pay a re-election biano, Amo per se, a NPP ni no so no, Uncle Swan Tinaco, and the four, and this news on trick David Abirofo in Seminole, Aquaco Pimo Supreme Court. Mesaka Bisna, Dimechi, Naya Kodis and Simonian Chim, and Racia, Ghanatube.
Of the Kpandai parliamentary election. Reporting, we know you'll be following this story closely. Christopher Amwako is our northern region correspondent bringing us that story. Here in the national capital, the Supreme Court in the coming days will hear a suit from embattled member of Parliament for Kpandai, Matthew Nyedam, who is invoking the jurisdiction of the court to annul a High Court decision that invalidated his 2024 election victory. The High Court Judge Manuel Batplange, who ordered the rerun of the Kpandai parliamentary election, has explained in his reasoning that the scale and nature of the irregularities uncovered in the pink sheets made it impossible to isolate the problem to just the contested stations. Let's bring you a bit more from that application to the Supreme Court. Moina, what else are we learning? And so we know Mr. Nyedam and the entire minority caucus have not been very pleased with the determination of the High Court judge in Tamale. They served notice they were going to challenge that ruling. There was one that was been put before the High Court. Now they've the Court of Appeal. Now he has decided to take it a notch higher in terms of what he's going to be doing. And the first off is he's taken all of these to the Supreme Court, filing fresh processes seeking to quash the High Court judgment which nullified his election as a legislator. And here are the main concerns he's raising, that the judge assumed jurisdiction despite the petition filed beyond 21 days
after the Gazette publication was made. And if you know, particularly for election petitions, it must be done before 21 days. And so it's very important, this time period he mentions, that it was done beyond 21 days. And then he goes on to say that, look, the petition was filed 32 days after the Gazette publication, also raising concerns about why the judge began to hear the matter in the first place, amongst many other things. And here are the reliefs he is seeking now: a declaration that parliamentary election petition, or that election petition, was invalid, and that praying the Supreme Court to deliver an order quashing the judgment of the High Court, and also any other orders as the court may deem fit. And these are the provisions upon which he's seeking to rely on in making the arguments that an election petition shall be presented within 21 days after the date of the publication in the Gazette of the result of the election to which it relates. And so 21 days after the Ghana Publishing Company makes the Gazette public, you should, if you're seeking to challenge the election results, do that within 21 days. He argues that was not done. Also, the time limit provided by this section for the presentation of an election petition shall not be extended, and representation of the People's Law is where he's citing all of this from as a basis. And so that's the argument of Mr. Nyindam, reason why he is going to the Supreme Court and asking that they quash the High Court's ruling, which is seeking to have within 30 days a rerun of the Kpandai constituency election. And we'll follow the subject matter and bring you details of it. But right now, let's talk education.
The West Africa Examination Council is probing a sharp drop in this year's WASSCI results, with over half of candidates failing core mathematics and a third recording F9 in social studies. While groups disagree on what caused the decline, the Ghana Education Service insists the outcome reflects students' true performance. Grace Hamwa Ajimang has more in this report.
220,008 candidates failed core mathematics, making it the weakest performance recorded in 7 years. Head of Communications at the West Africa Examinations Council, WAEC, John Kapi, says while the council is worried about the turnout, they suspect a lack of understanding of the questions resulted in the low performance.
In a casual conversation with my people in charge of social studies, I gathered that there was a little if you want, of the question instead of the rote learning that.
Out of four, when you're breaking news, I bet you are Mr. Medina, bro. Wait, the Supreme Court gets your pound. Kpandai parliamentary just a seat, you know, and I just say I did Jaw quarter. See, I know you could case, no, at the court, Supreme Court, Mr. Medina, bro, I will Ghanatube. Martin Dam, and I said the sitting member of parliament for Kpandai constituency, no, said that be on Peninsula, and ya do obey Peninsula. It's the High Court ruling, no, the buy no, or said that be on Peninsula to go case, no, at the Supreme Court. And you see, I mean, Casano and some no aqua copium Supreme Court, or say, almost such as saying some never cost you say 30 days, no more answer near say Supreme Court in boss and 70 in Anton Chine. Not on no. Nyindam no uncle swa no nye sitting MP for Kpandai constituency. Therefore, we any breaking news every Supreme Court and Mr. Medina bro. I will Ghanatube if you say like no more subscribe, no more share, no more notification board. So I say the bear. Bring a be of content say who when any tempan wash with the 4 aha and I made in 7 in ABC. I will Ghanatube so. Macramina, Madame Ninas Bebre.